Hi, I'm Drew, a drag queen living in LA with my husband Curtis, my dog JB, and this microphone.
Huh.
I ran out of
I'm Grant.
creativity.
That's fine. It's late at night. I'm Grant, and I live in Florida with my wife and my 4 children, and I have a microphone too. It's not as nice, but you can hear me.
And that's not
I'm
nice
grateful.
either. On this episode, we
Fuck.
deep dive in for a long time onto both Drag Race and Taskmaster. So if you don't watch either of those shows, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to fast forward. You're going to have to
Yeah,
fast
sorry.
forward.
Really sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that.
Also, we really deep dive into my daddy had so much doo doo in his tum tum that he fell down
He
and
had
had to
a
call an
he
ambulance.
had a fall down. He went, "Oops."
But so we get a little chatty Cathy on this one, but honestly, we end up talking about complicated feelings with difficult relationships, and we do voicemails. We do a couple of
Yeah.
voicemails. It could be yours. It's probably not,
Probably
but it
not.
could be.
Probably not, but it could be. Okay, bye.
All right. Well,
Enjoy.
bye.
Hi.
Enjoy all of it.
Hi, I'm Drew. And I'm Gen.
And I'm Grant, and I'm not.
Remember when we thought that would be like such a cute start to the show? And now that like you're really understanding the nuances of sexuality, now that God is no longer the person you blow, it's
Yeah,
honestly
pray
there's
to.
tension. There's tension now that wasn't there
Well,
before.
I mean, you hold a pretty hard line at gay, though.
Thank you.
You know, you just
Thanks.
talked about there being nuance, but you're like gay. And I just think that there's a lovely lady or non-binary person
Oh,
or
no. I think
somebody out there.
certainly, but I think the way I live my life, I live as a faggot. So I identify as
Mm,
gay
mm.
because I know I live that lifestyle and I live it a little too eagerly,
I do
meaning
kind
that
of strut around.
I'm
I'm
still
pretty
staying
straight.
alive. Yeah, exactly. So, yes, of course, I hope there comes a time my penis ends up in a vagina. I have to admit, it's probably going to be a trans man because I think trans guys are hot as fuck, but we'll see. I love
So,
boobs.
comment below if you'd like to be that vagina. This is a weird start. Drew, we haven't, we're getting all kinds of messages from people who are wondering who this Pope is and how we fit in as we're co
Grant,
popes. We made it pretty clear.
I don't even think this is funny to joke about. I can tell you're about to joke about it.
Joke about it.
Yeah. Or go ahead. I'm sorry. Maybe you're not going to joke about it. I'm personally too upset to joke about it, but
What are you upset about?
let's see. We handed the Vatican a brilliant idea of co-popes, and
Okay,
we were going to bring in a whole new audience. Well, maybe
I
not a
see.
whole new,
I see.
maybe like the same.
Yeah.
And then they decided, no, De Bears. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, I wanted to tell you, I actually got some news that we did get offers to be co-popes of some different faiths,
Oh,
not just the
nice.
Catholics. They heard
Nice.
about us.
Okay.
So, first up, Scientology.
I knew you
They're
were going to
trying to
start there. I
rebrand.
knew you were going to start there.
They're trying to get something new going.
I do
And
love
so
victimizing others. I'm in.
then you're going to love the second offer we got, which was from the Mormon Church.
Mm.
They have you seen Mormon Wives?
You know that Curtis's first,
Mormons be fucking.
was it his first? Curtis's first movie, I think, was there's this series of gay Mormon movies called something. And his first like movie
Super
role
soakers.
was, well, it's kind of, yeah. It's Mormon missionaries who fall in love and they fuck.
Oh, Brokeback Mountain missionaries
They
style
do it only
Mormon vision.
missionary. Yeah, they're always in missionary. Which, like, girl,
Well,
if
it's the
if
best
that's what it
way.
takes, I'm a Mormon. I love missionary. I just lay there.
You love some eye contact.
I
You
do.
love
I
some eye
do.
contact.
Do you watch? Oh, speaking of Sweet Pea, I watched Sweet Pea last night, and I watched the episode
Did
where,
you?
yeah, I watched the episode where she was banging the guy, and she was like, "Look at me, look at me, look at me," and I was like, "Bitch, same." Anyway, um,
You like the show though? You finally watched
I
the show
love
I
it. I
recommended a year ago.
absolutely love it.
It's great.
We're 4 episodes in, so I think there's only like 2 left. And Curtis did tap out at the end of episode 4. And I said, well, we only have 2 episodes left. And he was like, it's just really not for me. And I was like, we're fighting.
He made it through 4?
Yeah. To be fair, I think he slept through 2 of them. Anyway, I'm loving it. No, but his movie, but gay ex-Mormons love it because it's like, oh, this is clearly written from like an ex-Mormon's perspective. So he plays one of the like missionaries that comes out and like professes his love for a guy who fell in love with a different guy. What's it called? Covenants of Grace. Well, the Falls.
Covenants
the
of
falls,
Gays.
The Falls
from Grace.
The movie he was in was called The Falls Covenant of Grace, but it's called The Falls. He was in the 3rd one.
Oh, there's many. He made the 3rd one. He got 2nd sequel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, who was he?
I just told you. He was
I know. He was
an ex-Mormon missionary who came out and got married. And I think he reveals that he did have feelings for one of the other missionaries. That's the main missionary. But then he just cries.
Curtis is such a great crier.
He cries in everything.
Does he cry whenever you see him in something crying? Is it you're like, that's how he cries at home? That's the same cry.
No, but
I make him do that all the time.
I do feel bad because I feel like as an actor, he needs to flex that muscle. Like I think he needs to keep working at it. And I don't make him cry enough. I just don't.
Yeah, you should try harder.
I'll fix it. Anyway, what?
Yeah, so we're still co-poping. And we just want people to know that we're still co-poping. I don't know who we're co-poping for,
but we're
fucking out there.
We are going to do it. Yeah, we're doing it.
We're co-poping.
Yeah.
So we're still co-poping. Always be co-poping. Pope.
Actually, Grant, I would love to divert this conversation. Curtis and I were just in Orlando. We saw you for one night, and we watched Drag Race for the first time with you.
Yeah.
And we watched it on live stream. If you're an Olsen tier or a Messy Queen, you can watch the playback. Can we just chat about it just for like a second?
Go for it.
Okay. So I've been confronted with a lot of the feelings I had during that experience. And
we're not even talking about the episode, are we?
No.
We're talking about the 30 minutes prior.
So if you go and you watch this, the first 30 minutes is...
Drew loses his fucking mind.
Because, Grant, what did I say? When we said we were going to do this, you said you want to do this. I was like, great. What did I say specifically about setting up? What did I say?
I don't know how much longer I could have set up. I don't know how much earlier I could have
You started only 2 hours before. You should have set it up the night before or that morning, so you had plenty of time.
2 hours, Drew.
You still didn't have it figured out in 2 hours.
It shouldn't have taken that long.
But I told you it would.
I didn't know.
But I told you it would.
I didn't know about the audio.
I told you it would.
I didn't know about the audio issue.
What do you mean?
I was an hour before it started.
What do you mean?
An hour before it started, I had all of the video and everything figured out. I was trying to figure out how to get the audio onto the stream.
Right. So you needed more time.
Right before it started, you said, "Oh, we don't need that.
We don't have to. It's not ideal not to have it, but we don't have to have it." That's what I said. I was making a caveat for you because I knew you hadn't set enough time aside. Ooh, I'm getting activated.
Why are you bringing this up? I thought you were bringing this up to be like, I'm confronting my own feelings. I recognize that I have something to work on. And now I just feel like we're right back there. We're on the couch.
I wanted everyone to relive it. I wanted everyone to relive it because I want you to know, Grant, tomorrow morning I have an appointment with my psychiatrist. And I will be using that as an example of why I need something else. I need new medicines. But
please let them know that you tried to talk to me about it to let me know that, and you just started feeling all the feelings again and yelling at me again on camera.
I'm so tired.
By the way. Okay.
Well, I'm realist on camera. You know, I was born to entertain. So as soon as I see the red light, I go, this is me. Sorry, I'm bruised.
Red light?
Let's push that aside. What did you think? Did you enjoy watching Drag Race?
I did enjoy watching Drag Race, and I really liked... I'm pulling them up now. I don't remember.
That's okay. Names. It's a lot of names. And they're all weird.
Drag Race.
Orange bracket. Orange team.
I'm so glad you said orange. I was just pulling up a long list of people I didn't know. Orange, you glad I pulled up the right people? Did you hear what I said
I
there?
did.
About the orange, you glad?
Sometimes silence is a response. Well, who did you like? You liked Olivia.
Olivia's my jam. Olivia's number one. Olivia's so pretty, so talented.
You haven't watched the rest of it, have you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, their
Oh,
brackets.
no.
Their brackets over. So.
What does that mean? Oh, no. Did they lose?
Well, their bracket's over, and the top 3 from the bracket move on to the next round. Here, I sent you the picture of the orange team, and we'll go left to right. So up at the top left is Deja. What do you think of Deja Sky?
I love Deja.
Why?
I liked personality-wise.
Yeah, she's great.
Like Deja's talking heads, and she's great.
Yeah.
She's super great.
Yeah, and her makeup is gorgeous.
I guess.
Good.
That's what's funny is that, like, I know there are details like that about the makeup that really matter to people who with the eye
to
for
faggots,
it.
Sure.
I can see the costumes. Like the costumes, I'm like, I gotcha.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeups, the lights. Now, this next person, Phoenix, you had quite a lot to say about. Do you regret any of that?
You know, Drew, sometimes I forget how small of a community this is.
No, she does look crazy, but I'm so happy for her.
God.
I'm so happy that she's happy she's doing what she loves. Not very well. She does not she continues to not do well the rest of the episodes. But it's okay.
Phoenix had a lot of face.
I'll tell you this.
I'll say that.
I'll tell you this.
A lot of face going on.
At the end of the 3rd episode, their last episode, the top 2 are Bosco and Irene the alien. Bosco boobies, Irene the alien.
Angela's favorite.
Yeah.
Irene the alien.
So they're going through, and then Olivia, Deja, and Aja are all tied for the 3rd spot. And there's 1 point left, and that's Phoenix's point. She still hasn't given her point away. So even though at the end of this, Phoenix was way out of the running, like really far behind everybody.
It's Phoenix's choice.
It's Phoenix's choice. So she gets to decide who went forward. Do you think it was Deja, Olivia, or Aja?
Well, I haven't watched. I don't know the relationships with Phoenix. I know that. If the
none
alien,
of them had them. None of them really had a relationship with Phoenix.
I'm just saying. I know that if the alien had fucked around,
they would have found out.
Gone.
Oh, the only reason Irene made it through is because she won every episode. She went home first, and she won every episode.
You gotta win. I love Olivia. I will say Aja. I kind of hope it's Aja because Aja makes the show so fun.
It was Aja.
It
was Aja.
Oh, thank God.
It was
Aja's
Aja.
so fun.
It was great.
Her talking head.
She's the best.
So fun.
She's the fucking best, and her performances are great. Her drag is a little sloppy, but fucking who cares? She's so
That's kind of her deal, though, right? Like, she's just kind of, I fuck around. I'm Aja.
Yeah. There was a little bit of drama. This is so boring. I'm sorry. But there was a little bit of drama.
I'm just going to rest my eyes. Keep going, though.
Where Deja said on a live, we weren't thrilled that they decided to do a double premiere with just our bracket. Because now, instead of us being on TV for 3 weeks, we're only on TV for 2 weeks. Because they released the first 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, it affects bookings. You know, it's not great. But she kind of got into, not trouble, but she got into a little bit of a mess because she was like, we were in talks with the production company and just how unfair it was and blah, blah, blah. And I do feel for her. Because, like, you spent all this money to go on this show. And then you're like, oh, by the way, you're only going to be on it for 2 weeks. Sorry.
Are they not compensated? What do you mean they spend all this money? I mean, they pay for their costumes and stuff.
They pay for their costumes.
They gotta be paid.
No.
They're not paid to be on the show?
I don't know what the setup is for this All-Stars, but if they're playing for a $200,000 cash prize, usually not. In the most recent All-Stars, I think they were given like a $25,000 budget, like to help.
Okay.
But
yeah.
no, usually no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they'd be getting paid something.
When Gottmik came back for All-Stars, Gottmik said that they spent easily over $100,000 on costumes.
$100,000?
Once you see Gottmik's costumes, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Or they're just made of money? It's just money dresses?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Gottmik does have a
God.
lot of money. Anyway, so that was
That's
a
wild.
Drag Race roundup. I just was so excited to watch it with you, and then you ruined it. But then by the end of it, I was happy we did it.
It went great,
We should watch the
just like we
finale. We should
planned.
watch the finale together.
I'm down for it.
Okay, great.
I'm surprised we haven't watched the rest of the episodes. We've
Yeah,
been watching
there's
Taskmaster.
2
We got
out.
sucked back into Taskmaster.
What do you think
Are
of
you like the
Jason
new season?
Mantzoukas on Taskmaster?
He seems out of place.
Yeah. The guy who
He just
sits
seems out of
next to
place.
him is so hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's number
Matt,
1. He's so hot. So
is that
hot.
his name?
I don't know. So hot.
You get to see a blurred version of his balls.
Oh yeah, you do get to see a blurb. Well, here's my thoughts on Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah,
Curtis is a huge Mantzoukas head, okay?
yeah, I
And
like him too. I like him a lot.
I used to really be annoyed by him until we started going to see him do
I
live
remember that.
improv. Yeah, I hated him.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
the one that made me the most upset, and I have no, again, I have to talk to a psychiatrist about this, but Lady Dynamite, when Jason Mantzoukas was on Lady Dynamite, I was so
Okay.
upset because I thought Lady Dynamite was a perfect television show. And I was like, he ruined it, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I hated him so much. But anyway, once we started going to live shows here in LA, he's brilliant. He is such a good improviser. He's so funny. He's so kind and generous to his scene partners.
Mm-hmm.
I really vibe with him. Anyway, so we were both so excited for him to be on the show. What I'm seeing is, yes, he's out of place, but I'm seeing him not knowing how to cope. Because in the first episode, he almost seems angry, which is like a defense mechanism feeling to me. Like he's almost like, well, I don't fucking know. I don't know this thing, whatever.
It feels like a bit. It feels like he's
Yeah.
trying to find his
But
like
then
like Fatia's whole bit is she doesn't want to be there.
that's
And
clear.
so I thought like that's Jason's bit is like he's just angry about like he's easily set off.
Right.
But then it
It
changes.
changes. And I feel like
Yeah.
we're only on episode 3 or 4. So it's going to continue to change. But I feel like the anger part has gone away. And now I think he's doing this like, well, I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. Like, I think he's trying to like fade into the background in that way. But that also doesn't
Yeah.
fit him very well. I it's got to be so hard to do that show if you're American.
Yeah. Well, and being separated. I can't imagine you filmed it all by yourself
Well, he had the
mostly.
team.
Yeah, 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 but like not the whole time.
Right, right.
And so he did all this filming by himself, and then months later he comes to film this show. It's got to be hard for anybody.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
I was so excited for Jason Mantzoukas because I do think he's a great representation of American current, like American comedy, podcast,
mhm.
live improv comedy. Now I'm kind of worried, like, that he's not making the right, like, impression. Like, I'm so nervous for him.
There's been some very funny moments with him though when he fucked up the painting thing. Like instead of pulling
Yeah,
the canvas to himself
yeah,
and he made that really long and he just kind of had a meltdown. That's the best part of Taskmaster is when someone becomes broken by a task.
yeah.
And he was broken by a task. And so there's been a couple moments like that I don't know. I wonder if the more they get into it, the more he'll settle, the more he does team challenges. I don't know. We'll see.
I will say
Yeah,
it's
I like him.
it's clear that Alex was a fan of his before the show started because
What do you say that?
I think well, Alex makes all the casting decisions and I think
Yeah.
and he's a huge comedy nerd himself and he is really trying to help Jason like a lot. Like he's
Yeah.
really when they're in studio, I see him really like trying to engage Jason. I just think that's really nice. I also, I think Alex Horn's the hottest man on this earth.
Yeah, I don't always get your decisions there, bud.
He's so
I
hot.
don't.
He's so tall. He's so
Yeah.
funny. I love a hot, tall, funny. We're back now. If you fast forwarded through Drag
Yeah,
Race
they're
and
not listening
Taskmaster
anymore.
talk,
It's just us talking.
while we were in Orlando, it was Mother's Day.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it was wonderful spending Mother's Day with Angela. She seemed thrilled to be at Barnes and Noble for 45 minutes. She loved that.
It's her favorite place.
It was really fun to go with like Piper. Piper's not a reader, is she?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So Max
No.
is. Max loves his little nerd books. And so Angela and Max are like on it. And because they only have 45 minutes before the store closes. So they
Right.
got to go.
They're locked in. Yeah.
Piper's like, I'm really interested in Athena, like Greek mythology. Is that a book? And she's just kind of wandering around and just clearly on a mission. And so I see
Yeah.
that and I was like, you know what? We'll go to the young adult section and we'll look around. Like we'll find something. But of
Yeah.
course we can't find what Piper wants, but Piper sort of doesn't want it. It's just like the mission she's on. So there I am, like I'm Googling different young adult authors and like mythology, and I'm looking at all these different books, and then I look around and Piper's gone. She's completely gone.
Yeah.
She comes back
Yeah.
with a capybara that you can throw on the ground and it'll flatten out. So I thought that was our mission now. I was like, oh, great, we found the capybara. Let's go throw it. We did actually go to the second floor and throw it next to Angela and scared the shit out of her. And that was so funny. But no, she still wanted the book, but she didn't know how to look for it. Didn't care if we did. I don't know. But eventually she found a fucking book. I don't know that she'll ever read it, but it was fun to watch this teenage girl show some sort of interest in something she had no interest in, but she remained consistent.
She lives in this fantasy world, and she just kind of floats through life. And
Good for her.
So today we went through one of your favorite places, Burger King.
I love
and
it. Impossible.
We had an incredible cashier order person. She was really wonderful, and she was just like really personable, whatever. So we get to the end of the order, and she's like, "You guys taking home some Hershey pies?" And I was like, "You know what? I wasn't planning on it, but yeah,
I love a Hershey pie.
give me a couple of those."
Yeah.
Because it was just me and Jude in the car, and I was like, "All right, Jude, one for you, one for me." So we get home, we put it in the fridge, or I put mine in the fridge, completely forget about it. Piper comes upstairs later holding the Hershey pie, and she says, "Whose is this?" By the way, I'm in the shower. She comes into the bathroom and holds it over the shower door, just as Hershey pie. And she goes, "Whose is this?" And I go, "Oh, that's mine. Can you please put it back in the fridge?" And she went, okay." So I get out of the shower, and I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah. Hershey pie time, baby." So I go downstairs to grab it. I am looking all over the fridge.
Yeah.
Like, can't find it at all. And I was like, maybe one of the other kids ate it. So I asked the other kids, "Did you eat it?" So finally I go to Piper, and I go, "Piper, where is it?" She says, "It's in the fridge." And I go, "Baby girl, it is not. Can you come look?" So she looks, and she goes, "Well, I came downstairs. I got distracted because of the dogs." And I go, "What were the dogs doing?" She goes, "Just laying there." And I'm
Sure.
like, "Oh, okay." And they distracted you? And I go, "Okay." And I go, "So where do you think it is? Where do you think the Hershey pie is?" Which, as you know, Drew, you've eaten the Hershey pie. It needs to be refrigerated until you eat it.
It has to remain refrigerated. Yeah.
It's constantly melting.
Yeah.
So she starts retracing her steps. She finds it. It's on the floor next to the couch.
Sure.
When she walked in and saw the dogs, she went to go hug them, and she set it down on the floor,
Sure.
hugged the dogs, and then moved on with her day. So she picks it up, and she brings it to me, and I go, "Piper, was that on the floor?" And she goes, "It's in a box." And I go, yeah, no, I know. It wasn't physically, like the pie wasn't on the, but it was in a box. You set the box on the ground. And then she goes, "I told you I got distracted by the dogs."
You are asking stupid questions, Grant.
And I was like, "Well, what were they doing?" She said, "They were just laying there."
They're so cute when
What
they
did you
lay
want
there.
me to do?
Yeah.
She said, "What did you
Yeah.
want me to do?" And I said, "You should have taken it straight to the refrigerator, baby. Why did you go?" And she goes, I forgot. I don't know why you're getting mad at me. I forgot." And I said, no one's mad, Piper. I was just saying, I don't know why you didn't take it to whatever." And she goes, "I don't know what else to tell you. I found it." So
So you're
went
an
and
idiot.
I ate the rest of it, melted in the shower crying.
You're an idiot. And you deserved that. You idiot. Oh, and then
Just space cadet.
she's telling me and Curtis about why she likes mythology now, or why she's getting into it is because she found this musical on Spotify, and it's like basically it
Yes,
sounds like
epic.
yeah, it sounds like a Descendants kind of thing. Like it sounds like a young adult musical. So we get back in the car after the store closes because we did have to stay until the store closed. I'm like, "Oh, Piper, send me the name of that again, and I'll put it on like in the car so we can listen to it. Cause she's like, you and Uncle Curtis would love it. You have to listen to it. And I was like, great. So she tells us, we put it in, we start playing it, and we're like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is cool. We're commenting on it, whatever. She's not responding. And I'm like, okay. And so I turn around and Angela goes, are you talking to Piper? And I was like, yeah. She goes, oh, well, her headphones are in. She takes her headphones out, and I was like, Piper, I told you I was going to put this on so we could listen to it. And she goes, oh, I know, but you're going to start at the beginning, and that's not the song I want to listen to. So I'm listening to it too. I'm just listening to a different song. And I was like, sure. No, again, totally valid.
She's doing her
Valid.
thing. She's doing
valid.
her thing.
Valid. Actually, something else familial happened this week that I kind of jokingly breezed past in an IMHO episode. But I think it might be a good opportunity to discuss the complicated feelings surrounding these types of things. And I was wondering, Grant, if you feel comfortable telling the story you had about getting a phone call from Apple or whatever that service is.
Yeah, so I took a nap the other day. Let me let you into my life a little bit. Sometimes I take naps.
You nap a lot.
I don't. You nap a lot. You nap every day or you'll die.
I didn't nap today.
That would explain your low energy right now.
I took my Adderall late in the day, I'll have you know.
Congratulations. I woke up and I had a text message with my father's last location or current location and a message from Apple saying that a fall was detected and emergency services have been contacted.
The Falls, Covenant of Grace.
The Falls. So a gay man walked in his house and he was like, emergency.
Yeah,
so
he fell.
So I called Mom and I hear all kinds of commotion in the background. And she just said, hang on one second. This is how she answers the phone. Hey, listen, hang on one second, Grant. The paramedics are here. And I was like, is he dead? Like, that was my immediate thought was like, is he, like, that's it. That's it for old Nick. And she goes, no, he's fine. He's fine. They're leaving. I just need to see him out. Apparently, Dad he was home by himself, and he had fallen, and the Apple Watch detected it, and I'm one of his emergency contacts. So it had asked him, does he need medical assistance or whatever? So he tapped the medical button, and it called the ambulance, which then called me and Mom.
That's cool.
And it is really cool. And so Dad was so constipated that he was in so much pain from being so constipated that he fell down, like trying to get from the toilet back to his bed. He fell because his body just gave out because he was so
full of shit.
So Mom tells me all this real quick on the phone, and I can hear Dad in the background. You know, like when old people lay down, it's like all the noises they had saved up from the day just start coming out. Like Dad laid down and he was just going,
yeah.
He's just making all these noises. So I hear him in the background. So Mom tells me all that real quick, and then she's like, okay, well, he's okay. I better let you go. And so the paramedics have just walked out the house. Dad thought he was dying, and just moments ago paramedics were checking on him. They're probably still in the driveway, and at this point Mom decides this is the moment that she needs to yell at Dad. Right before she hangs up, she just goes, Nick, did you shit in the floor? And he goes, huh? What? Huh? Like real Biden-esque.
Speaking of, may he rest.
May he rest soon. Apparently, maybe when he fell, he expelled some.
It was a mental block.
Of it?
I think he was constipating himself because he feels guilty. That's what it was.
Well, so he called me later and gave me his
he did?
version of events. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he called me later. So he said, I have not been in that much pain, son. I was sitting on the toilet. He said, I was just praying to the Lord. Lord, just take me home. If this is the pain I'm going to be in, just take me home. And I was like, well, and he didn't though, right? So I guess there's always tomorrow, huh? And he said, I guess he's not done with me yet. And I was like, yeah, I mean, who would get mad at the TV every night watching Fox News if you're gone? So yeah, I guess there's more for you to do. There's a couple of your kids who still talk to you, so you still have time to alienate them as well, I suppose. He finally just said, all I know is I can't do that again. I can't be sitting in there with my finger in my butt just in all that pain. And
His
I said, I'm
finger in
sorry,
his
what?
butt.
I said, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, son, it was like rocks in there. And I was just trying to get it out. So I just stuck my finger up there and was just trying to move it, just trying to get it to move.
Whitney and Bobby. Whitney and Bobby. You remember this?
No.
Whitney and Bobby. Whitney was so constipated, Bobby had to stick his finger up her butthole to dig her poopy out. That is a scene from Bringing Up Bobby Brown or whatever, his like
Okay.
reality show.
Nope. Didn't know that.
Oh.
Don't remember that. So yeah, so Dad was just finger blasting his own asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Listen,
You have a lot more in common than you thought.
when you called me that day, I honestly thought this is the call. You don't usually call like out of the blue. And so I did.
We normally schedule all of our calls. Yes.
Or
we have a
we'll be
service we go
texting
through.
about something and then you'll
Sure,
call or
sure,
whatever.
yeah.
But I did, because then you said, I don't remember how you started it. It became clear it was about Dad. And I honestly was like, oh my God, this is it.
I remember how I started it. I said, do you want a quick update on Dad?
And and I thought you were going to be like,
hilarious.
He's dead.
That's hilarious that you thought that's how that conversation would start.
Well, I don't
That's
know
so
who you
crazy.
are. Sometimes you're zany.
That's so
You love a
crazy.
bit. You love a bit. I didn't know how I was going to react in that moment. And I have to admit, I thought I was going to have a much different reaction than I did. And in that split second where I thought, oh my God, this could be the call, I expected me to have no emotion, which I know is kind of stupid, but I expected me to be a little more, hate and love or horns on the same goat. I thought I'd be like indifferent. I thought at this point, for all we've been through, like it's over. Like, okay, he's gone. He's not in my life anyway, whatever. But I did have very complicated feelings about it. And then when I heard what actually happened and that he was in so much pain because of all the poop inside of him, that made me laugh.
Pooping.
It made me laugh. But then hearing that, he's laying on the ground waiting for an ambulance to come and
Oh, and he had to crawl to the front door to let him in.
he had to crawl to the front door. Like that is
He couldn't get up, so
horrible.
He crawled all the way to the front door.
That's sad. Yeah. That's sad. So, and as I've told this story to people in my life, IMH the podcast, I have had a lighter tone around it. Keep it light. Like, don't focus on the crawling to the door. Focus on, I have to poop so bad I fall. That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's funny.
I had to poop so bad I put my finger in my butt.
It felt like walks.
There were walks in my butt.
But I don't know.
I had butt walks.
I have such complicated feelings, and I have to imagine, and I've done years of therapy to help with that. And I imagine that there's a lot of people who are listening right now who have these complicated relationships with their parents. My thing is, I don't want anyone to feel guilty about their reaction, no matter what it might be. And that's kind of what I felt. Like my initial feeling was like complicated. And my reaction to having that complicated feeling was guilt. That like I hadn't done enough work on myself, or I'm a bad person for not feeling what I think I should be feeling in this moment. And I feel like that's just a way for us to like re-victimize ourselves. And for anyone in that situation, it is okay to have complicated feelings, and it is okay to react positively to those moments. It's okay to react negatively, a mix of both. Wherever you are in your recovery and your healing is fine. Don't set expectations for yourself around these matters, because you just don't know how you're going to feel. Because didn't you say when you woke up from the nap and saw that, you also had kind of complicated feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I literally thought, oh, he's dead. Like that was my first thought. As silly as that is, to go catastrophic thinking like that. But I really did. I mean, when he fell, for example, he hit his head on Mom's dresser, like so hard that it moved the dresser. So, I mean, it could have easily been the end.
The big one.
For old Nixter. Yeah, I had complicated feelings. I was surprised at how sad I felt. Like I had like a oh my God. And then at the same time, Drew, I mean, when I was talking to him on the phone and he was telling me, like, I guess there's more for me to do here. You know, my first thought was like, yeah, like reconcile with your two grown sons that won't talk to you. But then I thought, like, you've already said all those things. It's not going to go anywhere. The only thing that's inside of him is poop rocks.
Yeah.
And
Poop rocks
so,
and
like,
anger.
he doesn't have space for any of that. And so, I mean, it's interesting because my relationship with him, I guess I felt similar to you in a sense. Like, my relationship to him is very static. It's very one-dimensional. And yeah, at times I can beat myself up like I'm doing something. Like, why haven't I broken through with him?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, why hasn't this been?
I've done that.
Because he's talked about, like, Angela in particular, how much he loves Angela because she's the only one in the family that listens to him, the only one in the family that takes him seriously. And I've often thought, like, have I written him off so much that I've missed opportunity? Because Drew, I mean, part of it too is like I feel like I want to heal the rift between our parents and you know, and I know
Sure.
that's not my responsibility,
Well, you can't do that
but I
now.
want
Now
to.
that you're out of church, they think you're a heathen. So they don't trust anything you say.
That's true. But I do. I've felt that. I still feel that. And I guess maybe that's one of the things that made me really sad was like, oh shit, this is it. It just ends bad.
It's
You know, which
it's going
I guess
to
that's the
though. I
reality.
mean, it's going
Yeah.
to. What I would require from him, although in my view is so small, it's just not something he's able to do. Like that ship has sailed.
Which yeah.
I just want him to say, "Hey, I may not understand everything, but I hurt you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and I won't post horrible things about human beings again."
Yep.
That's not going to happen.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've had so many, and you know this, I've had so many sobbing, begging moments in front of him
Yeah.
about you and about and about me and about my kids and about and it's all been about like, Dad, what would you? I mean, you know, what would you do for Drew? Like, what would you do to have him back? You know, like, would you die for Drew? Absolutely. Okay. Will you
Then
delete your
do it.
Facebook for Drew? Will you delete? I bet you won't.
I bet you won't.
Will you delete your Facebook for Drew? And he's like, well, I mean, I've got people who count on me on there, you know, whatever. And I was like, okay, but, and he goes, and what if he doesn't, what if it doesn't even work? What if he doesn't speak to me? And I was like, well, if the gesture's genuine, like, you can't go back. You can't go back on it. Like, you just got to leave it there. Like, isn't he worth it? Like, if my children, well, you're not, but don't tell him that.
Yeah. I think he already figured it out. Honestly,
He probably, yeah.
he's right.
I think he was ahead of all of us on that one.
Damn.
But I mean, I've had all those conversations
Yeah.
with him, and I mean, just, you know, I had like one of the ones I told you about, sobbing, crying, like ugly crying,
Gay.
and he turned his back and walked out of the room,
Well,
like while I was
you were being
expressing how I
super
felt.
gay, and that's not great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Super cool.
it's been bouncing around in my head all week. I've made very flippant mention of it on IMHO, and I know that a lot of people who listen to Twinnuendo have very similar situations or are going through something similar. So I wanted to just kind of reiterate, because I know this would help me to hear from someone going through something similarly, is don't police your own emotions around this. You're not a bad person if you feel a positive thing about it. You're not a bad person if you don't feel as positively as you thought you would. Like, you're not the guilt that you might feel. It's not even doing anything for anyone else other than just making you feel bad. It's not helping the
Yeah.
situation in any way, and it's just not the reality of what's happened. You were put in this situation continuously by these people, and you don't have to show up for them better than they show up for you. You just don't. You don't owe them anything, but especially you don't owe them more than they can offer to you. Feels selfish to say, but I know that I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be alive if I didn't finally put myself first and put up those boundaries. As harsh or dramatic as they may view them, they were a life-saving technique.
Yeah.
And then you just wait for your twin brother to leave the church and you start a podcast, and then everything's, I was going to say fine. It's not fine, but it's better.
It's not fine. It semi works out.
Yeah, it's
Semi
better.
works out. Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. And I think when we get to these moments of like finality, it's normal to immediately feel regret.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why I felt that was it's loving to hope for somebody. I think that's a loving response to hope that this story is going to end differently, whether it is or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think deep down in most of these relationships, because there's, regardless of the pain, like that's our dad. And so I think there's a part of us that hopes the story will end better. That it will end positively.
Yeah.
And so when that final moment occurs and you realize it's not, I think it's normal to immediately feel, God, could I have helped write that story differently? And there's no point. No one's asking you to. Relationships it's not a one-sided thing.
Well,
Like,
and
it
also
was really complicated.
we're dissecting this moment, and he's alive. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
we're missing an opportunity.
Oh, hold on, I'm getting a text.
Yeah.
Nope, he's not.
Okay, never mind. So all this is for nothing. But
I just got a text from Apple, and it just said he's dead. You can pick up his Apple Watch from the local Apple store. That's nice.
You're right. To have hope for someone is to like still hold love for that person, and I do not think it's going to happen, but there is still a love for just my dad, for the person that I knew him to be growing up, that it like no longer exists. Like I know that person's gone, but his body is still alive. And so there's part of me that's still like, maybe he will be hospitalized and they'll be like, this is it. You're gone. Like you'll be dead in a week. This is it. And maybe that would cause him to at least want to say, I'm sorry. But I know that that's not going to happen. But yeah, I hold the same like hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a really complicated thing. And I just, sorry to reiterate this point over and over, but I know that for me, something that I've really loved about Twinnuendo and even IMHO, when I talk about like family stuff, are the people who reach out and say like, I needed this. Thank you for helping me understand these emotions I'm having. Thank you for letting me know that it's okay, that you're okay, that I'm not bad, you're not bad. I just see so many queer people, whenever they talk about family stuff, that guilt and that shame is still there. It's like built into it, you know? Like in this relationship, I was always at fault because I was gay or whatever. And I think that stays with you. I just thought, since I went through it this week, maybe someone else had something similar. I just wanted them to know that they're not bad. They're not a bad person. And
unless you killed them. Did you physically kill them?
I don't know.
Because that's bad.
But I'm still not sure that that's bad. Because who did they kill?
Oh, my God.
Who did they kill?
Was it self-defense?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was self-defense.
Well, then it's...
And I'm a huge fan of that.
Okay.
I love that.
Why don't we do a voicemail or two?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi, I'm a proud Twinnuendo listener. I've been listening to all of the episodes since the podcast came out. Love it.
Hey.
My name, I'm going to go by Polly. I just
Pocket.
moved from Louisville, Kentucky to the Bay Area in California.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to tell a story about a pastor back in Kentucky. When I was living there, I got a random Facebook message. This was like 2018, I believe. And this man sent a Facebook message from my hometown. And I thought maybe I knew him. And so I approved the message. And he was just like, hey, I am a gay guy looking for people in the area just to see. And I'm like, okay, because I had a picture of me and my boyfriend at the time on my Facebook.
Gay.
And I was like, small town, maybe he is actually just reaching out for friendship. We got through the messages, and surprise, surprise, he was not reaching out for friendship.
What was he reaching out for?
He said that we were both very attractive.
Yeah.
And then we were like,
penises.
We don't really trust this person. So we Googled him and found out that he was the youth pastor, because he was 26. He was the youth pastor at the church that was right next to the house that I grew up at. The graveyard to the
Aw.
church, the tombstones, is where my father stopped mowing the lawn.
Oh,
And so we
fuck.
said, oh, maybe he's trying to recruit us or he's trying to trick us and stuff like that. So we said, hey, where can we meet? And he said, have you ever
Trick us.
heard of Vapor, which was the bathhouse of Louisville at that time? It has since closed. And I said, oh,
Rest in
no,
peace.
he's definitely been here before. I still have all these Facebook messages. I still have this man's name and his face. He has gone a little bit different, and he made a big post saying that he changed his last name to Prophet or something like that. It was a big
Oh
long
my
churchy post, but he's apparently still a
God.
pastor. And I thought you all would like that story. We never met up because Death Equals Lady. My grandmother died, and we never actually went to Vapor. But yeah, just
No.
thought that would be a cool story, a funny story about a pastor who wanted to have a threesome at a bathhouse, but we didn't meet up because my
But your grandma
grandmother
said
died.
no.
Okay, bye.
Is it homophobic of the grandmother to die like that and to get in the way
She
of
knew.
a gay threesome?
No, not
She
at
knew.
all.
She knew what she was
She
doing.
knew that he was bad news. Listen, anyone who is secretly gay and they're super religious, they're dangerous. Listen, I'm not joking. And then you change your name to Prophet and you're still fucking guys on the side. That's dangerous. Stay
Polly,
away.
I'm Drew probably is giving you great advice. I'm going to go the other way. You have to find him. You have to meet up with him.
He will
He
kill
sounds
you and your whole
hilarious.
family in the
He
name of
may.
God.
He may, but it could be so funny for the rest of
Lori
us.
Vallow.
Just
Was that her
live
name?
stream it or something.
What was that woman who met a prophet and then they killed their spouses? Lori Vallow, and she killed her kids. Lori
Tina
Vallow.
Fey.
Lori Vallow.
I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, you've got to find this guy. Like, you have to find him.
Have you not listened to
and-
Mommy Doomsday, the Dateline podcast, Mommy Doomsday?
No, but is it who's
Keith
who's
Morrison.
The host? Is
Don't be ridiculous.
Keith Morrison?
It's about
Mommy Doomsday.
yeah, they're super religious, and then he thinks he's a prophet, and so they kill everybody. It's really good.
I love it.
Mommy Doomsday.
Mommy Doomsday.
Listen to it.
I'm looking it up. That sounds
It's
awesome.
amazing.
Polly, a great name by the way. Pocket, one of my favorites. Drew,
Cracker.
When Amanda had Polly Pockets, did you ever
Yes.
play with them?
Yeah, I
did
was really
too.
jealous.
I loved them.
Because all we had was, what was his name? We had the guy one, and they were little.
Bible Man.
No, there was a boy version of Polly Pocket where he was in caves. What was his name? They sucked compared to
Mini Mark.
There was like a skull,
Tiny Tim.
and then you open it, and then it's a cave, and it's just a guy in a cave. But with Polly Pocket, there was so much you could do.
Cave Boy.
What was it called?
Yeah, it wasn't great. Have you seen the collector's editions Polly Pockets they're coming out
Yeah,
with? Like
The
they have the
Office,
Office
yeah.
and all kinds of different ones. It's pretty cool.
It's nothing
Anyway,
I want to collect.
Polly, I'm really glad you survived. Drew, you lived in Louisville.
I did. I never went to Vapor though. I didn't know about bathhouses, which is good because of, the sex addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Mighty Max.
Yeah.
Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. Yeah, Mighty Max sucked.
Mighty Max sucked. Oh yeah, I had this
Sucked
exact one. It's a
so
skull
bad.
and you open it and it's like Mighty Max with like a Frankenstein and his monster.
Oh, his monster, eh?
Yeah, that one sucked. I lived in Louisville, but I didn't know about bathhouses until I moved to Chicago, which is for the best because you remember Sex Addict. And then when I found out about him in Chicago, well, let me tell you, I did a lot of stuff.
How many bathhouses are in Chicago?
There's
Is there a good
one
number, or were
main
you a
one.
regular?
There's one main one called Steamworks. It's humongous. But then there are other like sex clubs, but none that are like bathhousey like that.
Did anyone ever just go to the bathhouse to bathe?
No, but I did know someone who would go there to work out.
There's a gym in the bathhouse?
Yeah, on the second floor.
Huh.
It's the Glory Hole Maze and a gym.
Okay. Sorry, I'm new to all this. There's a glory hole maze.
Yes.
And a gym.
Yes.
Not connected.
They're across from each other.
What's a glory hole maze? Are you like, I'm going to get out of here? Oh, nope, another dick. Like,
sort
what
of.
is...
So there's two.
Okay,
there's,
all right.
Well, there's two options. You either have to be the blower or the blowy, if you will.
Okay.
And if you're the blowy, you take a couple stairs up, and then there's a long hallway.
Did you do both?
Of course I did.
That's what's up.
And you walk through, and that's where there's all the holes to put your wieners through. So you're just walking through, and you can see over the wall. Like, you can see who's on the lower level for the most part. But then the lower level, one side was straight up like catacombs. Like, you're in all these little like private booth things that you're kind of snaking through, and there's just penises popping out. But then the other side, the other side was a wall of glory holes, so the guys standing on the top can put their penises through. But then
Okay.
it's like an open space that has a fuck bench on it, and so you could also like kind of put on a show for them,
What's a fuck bench look like?
like a bench that you could fuck on. It's like padded,
Just a bench.
padded bench that has like places for your Grant. Just Google it. I don't know why I have to
Okay.
explain this to you. Not right now. You'll come. Oh, you're still looking.
Ah.
I thought you froze for a second.
I did kind of in my wiener place.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck bench. That makes sense. I got it.
So, yeah.
Oh, they make them on Etsy. You can buy them on Etsy.
I'm sure you can.
Buy a fuck bench. Today.
Why did we bring this up? Oh, because Polly did.
Use the code Twinnuendo.
Because Polly did. Polly, this is your fault. I love the Death Equals Lady story. The fact that your grandma said you are not fucking around with that dangerous man. I'm gonna die so you don't have to. That's nice.
She saved you.
And that's what I want Dad to do for me. Die.
Just die to save you?
To save me. Yeah, he said he would.
You need to put... No, because you're healthy now. You need to put yourself back in those dangerous situations. Give him a chance to die for you.
I don't know how healthy I am. I don't go upstairs the way I used to.
Oh, yeah. Our bodies are kind of like not okay.
No, it's not. And we knew this would happen, but it's still a shock.
Hey, Twinnuendo fans, all the people who post things about being attracted to us in the comments, our bodies
are disgusting.
Okay. You know that song, that John Mayer song, Your Body is a Wonderland?
Mm-hmm.
Ours is like
a haunted house.
That, but yeah.
Your body is a haunted house. Ooh. Your body
is condemned by the city, and you need to stay out. Okay, Drew, so for this voicemail here, did you finally finish Righteous Gemstones?
No, we have one episode left. Oh, is it going to
ruin
ruin it?
No, it's not. But it is related to the Righteous Gemstones. So for people who don't know the Righteous Gemstones, which I just can't imagine there's anyone in our audience who doesn't know the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, it's kind of like your thing, audience.
So the story of this megachurch family, basically, like a Joel Osteen combined with Kenneth Copeland, Jesse Duplantis, whatever.
All of them.
So that's all you need to know. And they just they just show the ridiculousness of church, which, by the way, people ask me all the time, like, how real is that show? Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an exaggeratedness to it, but not fucking much. Like the way they speak to each other, the competitiveness between them, the competitiveness between their church and other churches, like all of that, the way that they talk about money and attendance and people and whatever as like commodities, that's very, very
commodities.
Real.
That's what you
Putting on the show like that, that's all very, very real. So
commodities.
Anyway, shut up.
That's what you sounded like.
Hi, doing good.
Oh my God, that was so loud. Sorry. Start it over. Sorry.
I'm gonna start that over because you just had an aneurysm.
Hi, doing Grant, and I guess potentially Darby. My name is Erin, and I have a question. I've recently been watching The Righteous Gemstones in like season 2 or maybe 3 when Calvin has all the muscle men. I'm wondering if that's like a real part of Christian megachurch life. Was that like an over-exaggeration of just like toxic alpha male business generally, or maybe it's kind of the thing you talked about in the last episode of just men only looking at other men on Instagram that are all yoked, or like maybe it's part of prosperity gospel that you have to be super healthy. Like, is that just like because it was funny for Calvin to have that, or is that like a real thing that's happening in these churches? I was raised Catholic light. I went to Catholic school K through 12. Ours was all gold and saints' body parts. This is all new to me. Really appreciate the insight. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Oh,
Drew, what's your answer?
God. The answer is girly pop. That's sort of real. Obviously, it was exaggerated in that they like built a compound to live on, or they lived in his front yard. But
Hmm.
no, muscle men used to tour churches and they'd tear phone books apart and then they'd pray. That was real.
The power team.
The power team, yeah.
Yeah, the power team. They still tour. They're still a real thing. They still go to churches and they bend frying pans with their hands.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
they tear phone books apart. But you know, the theme of health and the body and all of that and the toxic masculinity, all of that's very real too. It was packaged together in a very funny way. But for example, the focus on health is absolutely a thing in megachurches. One of the things you'll see, the church I just came from, the senior pastor, as he gained more prominence and the church started to grow and he became more of a brand, he got a personal trainer, nutritionist, whatever. He all of a sudden was a lot more tan and
Well, you had to get
had
his
a bunch
picture
of new
taken.
clothes.
Yeah.
But like he became really focused on his body and how he looked. And there's a spiritual spin on it, right? That this is the temple of God, is literally what Christians would call their bodies, because they believe that the literal Holy Spirit lived inside of them. So this is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and so we need to take care of ourselves. And what happened is, in that church anyway, is there are all these men, the bro culture men, the toxic masculinity men, who all have daddy wounds, right?
Mhm.
And they see this older man, this older authority in the church, who looks like they have it all together, and who is an authority figure and wants people to follow him, and they flock to him. And that's kind of what Calvin was doing. He was that for all of those men.
Kelvin.
That's in Kelvin, sorry. That's in every megachurch. There's a pastor, typically the senior pastor, who has all these men, these toxic bro culture men, who are all looking for that dad figure because they have all these dad wounds.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a very, very real thing. Very real.
It really is. And also just straight men in general, straight men who are super into their bodies and their Instagram is just gym selfies and all of that shit. I do believe that they just get so into the way their body looks and the way men's bodies can look, turns a corner at some point. And I don't even think
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that like they're gay. I think the obsession with it becomes sexual in its own way. And I think they all
Yeah.
fuck each other.
I've been looking at these bodies for a while. I wonder what they feel like.
I'd like to taste it. Anyway, well, thank you so much, Aaron, for that
Aaron, thank
question.
you.
And I'm sorry about Catholicism. That sucks. The funeral I went to last week was a Catholic funeral, and it was a bummer. Not the
Yeah,
death
they're not
part. The
great.
death part was the part where I was like, okay, I can get on board with that. But the
Yeah.
singing and the sad, there was like
It's too much.
dioramas of their. Okay, it was kind of kind, but their Lord and Savior is on the wall, and there are, I don't know, like 12 different carvings of him. So it's like little, probably like 12 inches tall figurine of Jesus and his cross. And it starts with him carrying the cross, and then it goes
Yeah.
all the way to his resurrection. So for
Okay.
like most of it, it's him actively dying or being like punished in some way. And that's
Yeah.
like what they've
For your
adorned
sins.
their walls with. Little action figures of a man getting crucified or getting beaten. Like that's their like, hey, welcome to our
For
church.
you.
This is what we're about. Come on, Catholics. Get it together. Now we've
Just
got a
show the
Chicago
happy
Pope, so maybe
moments.
they'll replace it with like a White Sox banner or something. But it was a bummer.
Interesting that you went White Sox. You think he's a White Sox fan over the Cubs?
It has been confirmed he is a White Sox fan because it
Huh.
had been misreported that he was a Cubs fan, and that was corrected.
Fucking Cubs. They're always doing that. They're always trying to steal the Pope. Thank you, patrons. We do have a couple announcements real quick, but thank you, patrons. As always, you're fantastic. I want to thank the people who sent Angela birthday gifts and birthday cards.
No way.
Yeah, it was very, very nice.
I bet she
So
cried.
that
Did she
was-
cry?
She was very emotional. I'd also, whoever sent me this shirt, it's great. I'll show it to everyone.
That looks great.
That's the best part of the podcast. If you're in Loathing in Las Vegas, but with Sesame Street characters, it's great, and I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. But patrons, you're the best, and I'm so glad that you support us. Drew, we have one quick announcement. We have one interesting bit of news. Well, it's your news to share, really. So go.
Oh, yeah. So my dad faints now because he's so full of shit.
No, that's not it. We already talked about that.
Okay.
Go.
No,
Think
we are
Chicago.
doing IMHO Live June 8th at the Den Theater in Chicago. It's mine and Alexis's first attempt at like this type of show. We're really excited. We're hoping that through this we can kind of further develop this into a tour because I just want to get around and meet people. But we're starting in Chicago. It is almost sold out already. So if you want to come, I would love for you to be there. Buy your tickets now. They just added a couple rows of seats because we were sold out, and now half that row is gone. So, but we're having special guests as well, so it won't just be me and Alexis. Obviously, Auntie Chan in Chicago will be there, and we're going to have some special guests on video. We have a few funny little things planned. And that's it. No other special guests, just that.
No, are you sure? You sure
Yeah.
you're not going to have nobody else you wanted to mention? Or
You're not really a guest,
maybe something
Grant. You're working the merch
the listeners
table.
might be, well,
So if you
not
want
exactly
us,
true.
if you want to get merch from Grant, I'll see you in Chicago.
That's not what's happening.
No, Grant is
Anyway,
one of the special guests, and Grant is going to be doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like something good.
Well, I didn't ask you to do that. I don't want you to move mountains.
Not a problem. So we'll see you guys in Chicago. Please come.
Angela's
Hang
coming
out with
too.
us. We'll hang out with anybody. We don't care.
They don't give a
We
fuck.
don't have any friends.
They don't give a fuck.
Fuck.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Hang out with
started eating a
anybody.
grape. We gotta go.
Are you a pastor in Louisville? I'll hang out with you. Not a problem. Your last name Prophet?
Bye.
Bye, everybody.